Yeah, hello, ladies. Hello, gentlemen. I want warm welcome to an interview with a wonderful lady, and we are going to talk with Bettina Kohl. She is originally a Feng Shui consultant since many, many years, and has indeed a strong connection to nature, and she did something very, very extraordinary in her 40s. She started to do a new sport, and she reached the World Cups. So this is something really very, very impressive, and I'm glad that you're here with us. So will be an interview for two reasons. One is Radio Triangula, and one is Women in Leadership Insights. So my name is Petra Sorge dos Santos, and hello, Betty.
Hello, Petra.
Nice. Yeah, great that you're here. Betty, we do this interview on Zoom because we can't do it in the studio, because next week, tomorrow, you're already going to Portugal. So what's your what are you aiming for in Portugal?
Yeah, in Portugal, there are the German stand-up paddling championships are happening. It's a little bit weird. It's in Portugal and not in Germany, but we don't have waves. So I'm competing in the wave division, and we have our contest next week. So I need a couple of days for training before. And that's where I'm going tomorrow. It's really exciting. The forecast is really good, really big waves. And yeah, I'm actually vice champion from last year, and I hope I can make it again.
Wow! So yes, we hope so for you. So you started this stand-up paddling when other women in your age, like kind of retiring or maybe doing a little bit of fitness, but you started, and then you directly went for the World Cup, stand-up paddling. So what motivated you to do stand-up paddling?
Oh, that's quite easy. I'm for a long term a windsurfer already, and did also surfing since over 30 years. And 2011, or actually a year before, stand-up paddling was coming up in the world. So, and it came over to Germany, and immediately when I saw it, I said, hey, that's cool. And I have a small family, and I said, hey, it's cool. I can do this with all my family. Let's try it. And that was actually the first start. And we found out this is even more than just a little bit fun. And even immediately after we started, we went into competition in Germany, in the north of Germany. I mean, we come from the ocean surfing side, so we were competing on the ocean. We did tech races, or technical races, it's called, on race boards. And we're also doing competitions in wave. And yeah, I immediately was under the top 3, which was really fantastic. I mean, that was because of my experience in the ocean already, but it turned out for us to be a really cool tool because everybody can do it. That's really what I like, and I want to tell you.
So just in simple words, stand-up paddling is this thing you can do on whatever kind of water.
Exactly. You're on a surfboard and you stand up, no, like you see it here.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You have a paddle in your hand. So instead of normally surfing where you lie in the water and paddle and then jump up on the surfboard and catch the waves, you stand up already. And a lot of people doing it. It's a big boom now. And what I really like about it, everybody can do it. When you have never been on a board and never been on the water, you can do it. When you can walk, you can go on a board, and you are on the water and on the ocean. You can do it with your kids. You can do it when you're 90-year-old, when you're 9 years old.
You mean when you're 9? That's true, when you're 90 years old, because one of the
actually, I met a couple which was 80 years. They could hardly walk, but they wanted to go on the water, and they just bought 2 inflatable boards, and they went out and they had so much fun. Yeah. So that's what I really like about it. And even when I started, actually, I didn't feel really good, but I'm not a typical running person, but I wanted to move, and I love the water. So I said, I want to be on the board. And so I had really muscle struggles, and I couldn't even move a lot. but I could get easily into movement again, slowly, and I could catch up. How shall I say it? The more my body was able, I could do more, and that was really a breakthrough for me, because nowadays, even like
you get a quick feedback. So by training,
yeah, you get a quick feedback. Even in the what is it called here in the physiotherapy, they use it nowadays to get people into movement. It's really cool for your body and also for training, or just chatting with your friends when you're on the water. That's what I love.
Well, you really make me curious. So
we go next summer, I tell you.
You will see me, or I will meet you at the Ulster, because you're from Hamburg. So one thing I saw your on Instagram, you have a title which in German is Strandkind am Meer.
Yes.
A beach kid at the ocean side. So what does water mean to you?
Oh, everything. For me, it's really the place to be, to get energy. It's where it's my PowerPoint. It's where I get reconnected to myself, and I'm really with me and with the nature. That gives me a lot of power. It calms you down. It gives you energy, and it motivates you. And when you watch the ocean, and especially when you're in waves, it's also Demut. Oh, what's the English word?
You're humble. You're
humble. Yeah, you're very humble, and you never know what's coming. It's like the next minute it can be totally different. You always have new challenges, but also sometimes in situations where you think, "Oh, I don't like that." Something comes up, and it lightens you up again, and that's really it's like life, no? And it's. And salt, especially when you're on the salt water, I mean, salt water is known that it gives you a lot of good energy and is good to calm you down. It takes off the stress, and that's what's happening. And that's what I love, to be in the ocean. And surfing is one way to be really close to the ocean, of course.
Yeah. So what's your? I saw a lot of photos on Instagram. So you're meeting other competitors, girls, women, young men, and all kinds of. But most of them, they are much younger than you. So how is the culture, the atmosphere? How do you feel? How are you seen?
Oh, it's really cool. I always say I'm the grandma of the group. No, but I mean, a lot of people first, they don't think that I'm over 50, and most people think I'm 40 or something like that. But it was really funny at the beginning, because I was competing against 14, 15, 16-year-old girls. But no, we are all good friends, and it's a great atmosphere, and it's good to be there. And there are also some other masters, but of course the most are more in the 20s, because everybody knows that this is the age where you are strongest with your muscles. But when you have the right motivation and the right mindset, it's still possible when you're older, of course. And I mean, there are some issues, that's sure. But for me, it's also, I'm an amateur. I'm not a pro. I mean, I'm competing, but I have also, you said, I'm a Feng Shui consultant. It's not that I spend 24 hours a day on training and to compete or to prepare to competition. I have my normal life in Hamburg. I live landlocked in Hamburg. We have this lake, Elster, which is great, but I don't live on the beach side. So we travel every minute. Every weekend we try to get to the ocean and get water time. So, but I have a normal life. That's the difference.
Yeah. So apropos mindset, now we're going to talk about something where you bring, I feel like, a lot of things together, your experience and your background with the stand-up paddling, but also being a consulting and empowering people. Your new project is to make a film about this empowering people to go their own way. Tell me about this. What is the idea of the film?
In this movie, I want to combine the topics empowerment and saving the ocean in a special way. I mean, like everybody of us, we go through our life with all its ups and downs, and I always felt, I mean, I was always this person like, go for it. And I learned that going for things where you dream from and having a vision and leaving your comfort zone, that's really living and making the life interesting and brings you on a higher level. And the hardest stuff was last year when a very tragic thing in my life happened, because my mom, she decided to give up life, and I didn't know this. So that, I mean, what means didn't know? It was really like, bam, it was there, and total shock. And on the same time, I got the ticket to the World Cup, the Sub World Cup, and that was so strange for me. I mean, and I said, how can this happen that somebody gives up? And I mean, I was totally, my whole life was a roller coaster. I was upside down. You question things you never questioned before in your life. And I said for myself, I don't know what this is. It's the biggest challenge of my life, but I go for it. Mm-hmm. I will see what will come up, and I want to turn this into something greater. And I want to give this whole tragic, it has to get a meaning, some point has to be positive, which sounds maybe a little bit strange in this connection. Mm-hmm. And so the idea of making a movie was a longer time in my head, because people asked me to tell my story. And then it was really bam. I said, so this is the moment. This is such a heavy thing. And I want to tell how I go through this. Mm-hmm. So, so my movie, Betty Would Go, Ride Waves, Surf Life, is about this. And we want to tell my story, but this is just one story. It's not about me as this hero. It's more like how I went through this stuff, how I'm going with this. I'm still in this story, of course, but we want to also share stories from other people around the world who are deeply connected to the ocean. Mm-hmm. And for me, the ocean helped me, and going paddling helped me so much in all my life, and especially last year, because it showed me, okay, life goes on, ride the wave, even when it's going down at the moment, and it will go up again. And there are a lot of inspiring people out there, and we want to get interviews with them. Mm-hmm. And we also want to do interviews with scientists about what the ocean is doing on the psychology on our brains side. And of course we want to bring back something to the ocean. So saving the ocean will be a topic, because this is just such a wonderful and beautiful place, and we really need to protect this. And I want to sharpen the awareness for that. Mm-hmm. And but in the connection of empowerment. So and also that I want to show the people that they can transform challenges into something greater, into something positive, and just trust in yourself. Mm-hmm. I think this is the message I want to tell. And I want to show, of course, great pictures. And
yes, and this is what you do. And so I would recommend for everybody who is just getting to know you right now, to go onto the website bettywoodgo.com, because this is your campaign for the film. You're doing a crowdfunding project right now, which is another 2 weeks on air. And yes, you have amazing pictures, amazing, beautiful, because, and this is the next thing. So you're not only a Feng Shui consulting, you're a world champion in stand-up paddling. Now you're going to be a movie maker, a film producer. So this is another task. And so I think it's so interesting that you don't only walk the talk, you kind of write the talk. And yes, I want people to see it. And in this position, so you're not only, one thing was you were working for yourself, you're self-employed, you're doing this competition for yourself and a higher goal, and now you're kind of leading a team. So
yeah, totally.
why I come to the other questions, which are on women's leadership insights. So it's questions about leadership, and one which is the most important, and everything starts, is about leading self. And could you just put it in your words, what was your learning about through all this, your own history, about leading self? What can you give? What do you want to give, pass to others?
One thing is really about power of focusing and the power of visioning, because I found out as soon as I really worked on my goal, on my vision, and I also visualized that. So I did a vision board, and I put it every day in my mindset. Every day I have this in front of mine, and that gave me a lot of power and is driving me towards my goal. That's one point. And really believing in me. And as soon as there are doubts, I try to put them away and really look to my strengths and see what I have achieved. I think this is really important, to look, what have I done? I mean, even this project now, I mean, imagine that was really born out of nothing. I mean, what have you told me last year I will do a movie? I mean, I would say, okay, funny idea, but there's such an energy behind it, and it was really, when you see when you find something where you lighten up. Maybe you ask your best friend when you talk about things, and he says, "Oh, at this point you really lighten up, your eyes are glowing." Then follow this point, and this was, for example, happening with my movie project. It was my whole body, I tell you, was for 1 month. So excited. I was so on adrenaline. That's why I said, okay, this is a crazy goal, but I go for it, because when I wouldn't feel it that much in my body, I mean, it shows, my body shows it to me. There is something more behind it. And it was really special. And that's where I follow. And I'm totally convinced that will succeed to my success. I mean, success is something personal. We don't talk about money goals, maybe. It's more a personal thing. Success is a very emotional thing. And yeah, I think these are some good points, and especially, yeah, where you lighten up, follow this, and don't say, oh, this is bullshit and blah, 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 blah. No, look deeper if this is really something you're glowing up, and then look how you can implement it every day, maybe a minute, or every week, an hour to spend on this, and it will grow.
Wow. Wow. Great insight. Thank you for sharing, Betty. Now let's come to the other side, leading others. You're in a team with different people, filmmaker. Okay, you tell us about your team, and then about your learnings.
Yeah, I suddenly, had to build a team, because this project was for sure, and I couldn't do it on my own. And I even need now 10 more people if I could afford it. No, I just honestly talked to a friend, like Andrea. She's a filmmaker now, Andrea Hausstetter. She's a professional filmmaker. And I said, what about the idea? And what is something coming up with you? And she was so hooked on the idea. So we partnered up, and it was a perfect match. But of course we have things which are coming up. And it was, for me, the whole time, communication is key. And I mean, honest communication. When somebody thinks, oh, I don't like it, say it before it's going down and you don't know. So it's a very, I think, open communication, being honest, and also on, oh, how you call it in English, on Augenhöhe, like on eye level.
Eye level, yeah.
Yeah, it's eye level. Really not, I'm the boss and you are whatever. I was always saying, I'm open to ideas. Let me know how you feel about it. And so that's really working totally well. And we have also our discussions, of course, but we are open-minded. I think this is important. I have another strategy leader in my team, Doreen. She is great. So she was really, we did every week, we did strategy meetings, and also like, where are we standing? What are the best next steps we need to do? What is important now? And we have also a creative consultant, Susanne, and she's also giving her input. And everybody has the let's say, business issues or and it's emotional issues. And I always said, hey, when you struggle with something, please talk about it, because when you don't talk about it, it's gonna be mess up maybe 1 month later. And I think this is really important when you're in a team, that you share ideas. We do a lot of brainstorming and really open mind, say what is coming up in your mind, and this helped us also a lot. Mm-hmm. And just feeling safe also in the team, that you can really talk and not leaving things behind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Very inspiring. And
celebrating, sorry, very important. I forgot it. Celebrating the successes.
Oh yes, that's important.
Even little successes. Every step you achieved, sorry to interrupt you, but this is so important. It's not about throwing a big party. It was really like, little Prosecco and it's so important too.
Oh yes.
Celebrate.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No. Great. Thank you for adding. Another aspect is maybe this is not your focus, but you have some experiences since you're working internationally, or you're in these international competitions. It's about global competence. So what, from your experience, what do you think helps to cooperate with people from around the globe?
Well, I think it's very important because you have other perspectives, you have other backgrounds, and so and different mentalities. But this is, I think it's like brainstorming on another level. It gives you much more insights, and through the other backgrounds, you can get really cool ideas for your projects. And I think international teams are great, definitely. Yeah. And we are living in a global world, and we want to connect. Even with my movie, I want to connect. It's not about empowerment in Hamburg. No, I mean, I'm really looking, of course, for supporters from Hamburg, but it's also about connection. And we have a strong women team now. Mm-hmm. And of course, I also want to empower men. But this project is really a hard project and empowered by strong women at the moment, and giving everything into it. And this shows. And I mean, this global aspect, for me, it's very important because I'm also a global traveler, and I love to meet people from other countries. And it's so bringing you on a higher level on how you think about things. Yeah.
Okay, yes, yeah, I'm with you. Thank you. Last question in this leadership context, and I think you're kind of an expert on it. In my coaching, I call it interconnectedness, which means, we are, there's something bigger and greater than we are. And how can this, from your perspective, help us, or could help us in our own leadership?
Oh, it's key. I mean, I was actually myself for 2 years in a mastermind group, and we just met 3 times a year physically. It was an online thing, but I was in this empowerment group or in this mastermind, and just knowing that this energy was behind me pushed me totally on another level. And you can, of course, transfer to every kind of other global networking. And I think it's really important to have that kind of energy team behind you. You feel it, definitely. Yeah, it's a totally different story. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Does this answer the question, or
well, and there are some parts you already said when you talked about water and nature and all this.
These are the things you can't see, but you feel them, and you should, I mean, not should, but I can just recommend to believe in it, because it really works. Even sometimes, I mean, also me, I'm sometimes I forgot myself. That's, I mean, I'm just a human person, but as soon as I connect to this again, it helps me, definitely. And I wouldn't be there where I am now without that. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Betty. So now just a little bit about the Kickstarter. To make people join the Kickstarter, we can help you to do the film with any kind of contribution, money-wise. And we get something out of it. So and of course, the bigger the contribution, the better it is. So what do we get, for instance, if I want to do a paddling with you?
I think
what's my investment?
Yeah, sure. I think, now you have I think it's $150.
Yeah.
Euro. So there are different kind of goodie levels. So it's really starting with €1, no? And then you can get, I send out updates about how the project is developing. Then I have some other things. From you spend €3, you can get a free download when the movie is released. And there are really cool levels with sub lessons, with getting integrated with your name in the movie as a contributor.
Yeah, which is really cool, you know.
This is really cool. I mean, I've never been in a movie, named in a movie. So
So how much is this?
Oh, it's starting with €100. It's not that much. I mean, €100 is, of course, a lot of money. And I'm really grateful for everybody who gives €100, of course. But for me, it's really important that, you know, it really starts with €1. It's not a big thing, and you're part of the story. And what is really important, I really need the collective empowerment, the world, to make this happen. Because, as I said, this is born out of the heart. It's not that I have this big money bowl somewhere. And I really want to realize that project, and I want to do it with other people together, and with using this collective empowerment. And the deadline is the 18th of October, and we have a challenging goal, and we really need a boost. And I get so much great feedback from people from all over the world. We are on Insta, on Facebook, everywhere. We talk to people personally, and everybody who has seen the teaser, which you can find on Kickstarter, our amazing teaser, to give you a little insight of me and the story and the quality of the movie. There's so much great feedback, but I just want to kindly ask you to really contribute. I mean, I really love these hearts which are coming back and everything, but just to make sure we can't make it happen when we, or it will be really difficult when we don't hit the Kickstarter goal. Of course, we are looking also for sponsors, for bigger sponsors, for companies or personalities who like the idea and want to support us.
And this is what I try to focus on, because I know that you're still needing more than €6,000. And so this is, if you have, if you're convinced of the project, look at the site bettywoodgo.com. It's really amazing. And have a look onto your bank account if you can really do a bigger donation to make it really happen, because it's only 10 more days left, and so would be great. And also, if you're able to sponsor it in a different way, then I would highly recommend to get in touch with Betty. And so I would say, great. Thank you so much for sharing, Betty. It's so just empowering just listening to you. So imagine the photos or meeting you in person. It's great. And so we wish you a very good competition in Portugal. Where, by the way, in Portugal?
Oh, it's in Peniche. It's near Lisbon. And 4 weeks later, I'm heading up to China, where the World Championships are happening. And I have to compete on a nice tropical island, but I have to prepare for that. And and on the side, pushing this project. And so I'm really grateful for any support I can tell you. And it's so easy to support. It's really, really easy. No risk, just fun.
Oh, yes.
You're taking part at something great. So I thank you so much for this interview. It was so cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Betty. And we really, wish you all the best. And we are looking forward to see this film, Betty Would Go. Yes. Okay, thank you so much. And I will